Hello everyone. Today I'm going to read a book called The Last Straw. It's by Frederick H. Thury and it's illustrated by Vlasta Van Kampen. The Last Straw. Hoshmakaka. That's quite a name, isn't it? Hoshmakaka, the old camel, was asleep in the desert tonight. He dreamed of all the water in the world in a hump that would hold an entire sea. Hearing voices, Hoshmakaka opened one eye. Hoshmakaka! Hoshmakaka! Reluctantly, Hoshmakaka opened the other eye. Why should I wake up? He grumbled. The sand whirled up in the moonlit sky. You have been chosen, the voices whispered. The sand seemed to shift again. You will carry gifts to a baby king. Who are you? Hoshmakaka wanted to know, for he was an old camel and felt he had earned his sleep. You will carry frankincense, myrrh, and gold. The wise people have chosen you. Hoshmakaka got up very slowly. Why me? If these people are so wise, don't they know about my joints, my gout, my sciatica? What did you say I'm to carry? How much will it weigh? Besides, I have other commitments. There's a water drinking competition in Rangal. Then I really must go to the cud chewing convention in Beamish. The sand blew furiously, cutting into the black night. Hoshmakaka was startled and decided he had better do as the voices said. Who knew what made the sand move like creatures with great wings? When do I start? He asked carefully. Today. With that, the sand voices disappeared, and it was morning. It was still early as the servants of the wise people placed the precious gifts on Hoshmakaka's back. The young camels ran to their good friend. They all looked up to him because he was old, and they thought him wise. You must be a very special camel, they sighed. I am very special. Hoshmakaka puffed out his chest in pride and then said something a little foolish. I'm not so old. I'm still as strong as 10 horses, and I have been chosen to carry rich gifts to the new baby king. Can we come too, as the youngest camel who never wanted to be left behind? Aren't we your friends? Shouted another. You can walk beside me, Hoshmakaka replied in his most regal voice, and the long journey began. At noon, a herd of mountain goats came into view. Hoshmakaka thought they had come a long way from their mountain home in the north. What is it you want? Hoshmakaka called out. We have heard tell of the new king who is to be born. Please take our humble gift with you. It's milk for the king. You want me to carry milk? Hoshmakaka sputtered in shock. I am not a milk-bearing camel. I am not ordinary like you. The young camels chorused, No, he is not ordinary. They looked up to him with their big brown eyes. He is strong. Why, he's as strong as 10 horses. Hoshmakaka muttered to himself, My joints, my gout, my sciatica. Aloud, he said grandly, Give me your gift. At 1 o'clock, he was stopped by a family of millers. Look, said the youngest camel, they are carrying bags of ground corn. Do you suppose they're for the new king? They will have to carry it themselves, Hoshmakaka replied. They can follow that star like the rest of us. The young camels crowded around Hoshmakaka eagerly. But you're so strong. You're as strong as 10 horses. Hoshmakaka felt weary just looking at the bags, but he said to the millers, Give me your heavy bags, I'll carry them. At 2 o'clock the next day, young ladies gave Hoshmakaka their fine silks. At least the cloth doesn't weigh anything, he thought. At 3 o'clock, an old man in fine clothes gave him 2 rare birds in silver cages. At 4 o'clock, some merchants gave him pillars of oak that came all the way from Lebanon. At 5 o'clock, a group of bakers gave him their finest sweetmeats and pastries. Oh my goodness, poor Hoshmakaka. At 6 o'clock, the sun finally went down and the crowds melted into the coming night. Hoshmakaka gratefully sank into the sand. In the kind darkness, he didn't have to pretend he was as strong as 10 horses. Hoshmakaka became aware that it didn't seem as dark as usual. He looked up and saw the splendor of the skies and the special brightness of the star he had been following. He fell asleep, wondering about the sand voices and the wings he had thought he could almost see. But as the sun rose over the desert hills, it was hard to remember the wonder of that star. The new day brought new pains and new burdens for Hoshmakaka. I don't think I will make it. I can't carry anymore. My legs are getting weaker. My gout, my sciatica, my joints. I'm too loaded down. Word of the caravan had spread like the sand before a desert wind. People lined the route, holding up their gifts for Hoshmakaka to take to the baby king. There were jars full of honey and baskets of money. There were jewels and beads and large rolls with leather. And last but not least, there were 20 gallons of wine. Hoshmakaka moaned to himself, "This will bring me to ruin, this fruit of the vine." But then the youngest camel cried out, "Look, there it is, Bethlehem! You've made it, Hoshmakaka! You are as strong as 10 horses!" Hoshmakaka knew he could just do it if he did not stop until he arrived at the spot beneath the star. He could. He knew he could. Just then, out of the growing darkness, a small voice said, "I have a gift for the baby." Hoshmakaka looked down on a tiny child. "Please, child, no more gifts. It has no weight. It's long and light. It's for the king who was born this night. It's little," the child added. "Too little is too much," Hoshmakaka whispered. "Didn't I hear them say you were as strong as 10 horses?" asked the child. "Well, yes, I am, sort of, but my joints, my gout." Hoshmakaka looked into the child's eyes and his heart melted. "Yes, child. Give it to me, this smaller than small gift. What harm can it do?" "It's for his bed. It's all I have." "No problem at all," said Hoshmakaka bravely, if foolishly. All this time, Hoshmakaka had kept walking because he knew if he stopped, he would not start again. Now he could see that the star shone down upon a lowly stable. "Child, do it now. Please place your straw upon my back as I approach the new king." Hoshmakaka entered the stable. "My knees are loosening, my legs, they wobble, my back is breaking. Will this last straw cause me to fall?" And with that, Hoshmakaka fell to his knees. "Oh my," he thought, "this is no way for a camel to behave. They will say that Hoshmakaka, the weak camel, Hoshmakaka, the proud camel, should not have traveled this far." The wise people noticed Hoshmakaka. Quickly they too dealt. "They're mocking me now," falling on their knees, heads bent over like gnarled old trees. Then, from the humble manger, a tiny hand reached out and touched Hoshmakaka. His pain seemed to disappear. He could no longer feel his burden. Hoshmakaka whispered to the baby, "Hosanna from Hoshmakaka. Accept these gifts kindly. They come from far and wide, brought by a beast who once acted blindly." From that time on, there was no burden, great or small, that Hoshmakaka would not gladly carry. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story about Hoshmakaka the camel. So if you look below this video, you'll see a link that Darcy has put there that's got activities that you can do that center around this book. I hope you'll enjoy that too, and I'll see you next week.